When Ethan Caldwell dumped me for my sister Sarah, I thought I'd fall apart. Tears, screams, the works. Instead, I took his hefty breakup check and walked away without a scene. I always knew I was just a placeholder for Sarah Harper. I played the substitute role perfectly, cashing in on rich men like Ethan. Money in my pocket? Non-negotiable. My heart? Even less so. When Ethan came back, begging, I flashed a polite smile and shut him down. Sorry, my schedule's full. No room for new bookings. Sarah called me a smug mistress. She stood across from me, face red with rage, her long hair and simple dress mirroring mine. The difference? She looked frail, pitiful, while I stood tall, exuding confidence. Pointing at me, she snapped. Claire Harper, I was gone for 1 year and you stole Ethan? Have you no shame? I crossed my arms, smirking. Shame? Can I cash it in? She trembled, tears welling up. You think you've won? Ethan still loves me. You're just a stand-in who doesn't know her place. I hugged my arms tighter, grinning. Love? Don't care. But I know Ethan's been in my bed every night. Tears spilled down Sarah's cheeks. Shaking, she pointed. Claire, how can a shameless woman like you be my sister? I chuckled coldly, staying quiet. Honestly, I couldn't fathom it either. How we shared the same dad. But I kept my cool. Maybe because your mom was like me, shameless, breaking up a marriage, stealing a husband, and sneaking you into the world? You? Sarah's face flushed like a cat with its tail stepped on. She slapped me hard. I rubbed my cheek, raised an eyebrow, and slapped her back. Sarah grew up in luxury. I fought through life's grit. Our strength? No contest. Her face swelled instantly, tears streaming like broken pearls. She stumbled back, stunned. I grabbed my phone to call security. But her eyes lit up and she clutched her face, running to the door, crying, Ethan, I'm scared! My heart sank. I turned to see a tall figure in the doorway, his presence icy, his face blank. Ethan was back. He pulled Sarah into his arms, gently soothing her. His tenderness stung. Sarah, nestled against him, shot me a smug glance. A chill hit me. Ethan's actions screamed I'd lost before the fight began. And why not? I was a stand-in, chosen for my resemblance to Sarah when they fought, and she left for abroad. I jumped at the chance, offering myself up. A substitute dreaming of being the real thing? Laughable. Still, a spark of defiance flared. I forced a smile, reaching for his briefcase. Ethan, you're back? He stared, his gaze cold, almost hostile. Last night, we'd been tangled in passion until dawn. This morning, I tied his tie and kissed him goodbye. Now holding Sarah, he made me feel like an intruder in their epic love story. My flicker of hope died. Sarah sobbed in his arms. Ethan, I regret going abroad. If I'd stayed, I wouldn't have lost you. He looked down, eyes soft, stroking her hair. Each touch crushed my hope further. When her sobs quieted, he met my eyes, his gaze steady but cold, and asked her, Did Claire hurt you? I bit my teeth, silent. Sarah sniffled. Claire just got mad. I didn't mean anything. She came to see you and Claire lashed out. It makes sense. Her pitiful act was award-worthy. I lowered my eyes, saying nothing. Ethan's face said it all. Defending myself was pointless. A substitute has no voice. I'd lost, just like Mom lost to Sarah's mom, utterly. Ethan narrowed his eyes at me. Claire, I told you from day one to know your role. Smart people know when to bow out. I bit my lip, giving a bitter smile, and held out my hand. Mr. Caldwell, I'm plenty smart. This stage is yours and Sarah's. I'm done. He paused, silent. I dipped my head, flashed a grin. Mr. Caldwell, let's talk breakup terms tonight. I strode out of the villa. My heart was a mess, but my mind was clear. Play the good girl, exit gracefully. Ethan's type would pay more for that. Yeah, I'm practical. Lose the guy? Fine. The money? Never. As I left, Ethan called, Claire? My heart skipped. I turned, unsure what I hoped for. Sarah clung to his arm, crying softly like a lost kitten. Ethan glanced at me, then wiped her tears, voice low. We'll talk tonight. I walked out, defeated. That evening, Ethan handed me a house deed, a gold card, and stock certificates. He was getting engaged to Sarah and wanted no more ties. I glanced at the documents, enough for a lifetime of comfort. I nodded, mimicking Sarah's smile. All right, Mr. Caldwell, thanks for the support. He raised an eyebrow, surprised. He didn't expect me to be so calm. No tears, no drama, just acceptance. I packed his gifts, my smile genuine. Thanks for the generous payout, Mr. Caldwell. I'll disappear from your life, promise. His brow furrowed. Claire, you're happy to split? I tweaked his words, grinning. Not about the split, Mr. Caldwell, just thrilled about the gifts. His eyes darkened with anger. Seconds later, he left. I didn't get his anger. His true love was back. I was stepping aside. Wasn't that his goal? I'd spent our time together perfecting Sarah's expressions, voice style, 90% her. I was the perfect stand-in, worth every cent. Where else could he find someone so dedicated? So why was everything I did wrong when Sarah returned? Holding my breakup money, I watched his sports car speed off, a wry smile on my face. Men. Ethan's departure turned me from a substitute to a rich woman. I ditched the plain dress, wiped off the subtle makeup, and tossed the innocent clothes Ethan bought to match Sarah's style, not mine. I slipped into a bold red dress, dyed my hair chestnut, styled it in big, retro waves, and swiped on red lipstick. This was Sarah Harper. I splurged on clothes and shoes I loved, returning to Ethan's gifted villa with bags and a grin. Life had hardened me, heartless, cold, calculated. Sure, my heart stirred sometimes, but love? I couldn't afford it. I wanted to outshine Sarah, give Mom a better life than Sarah's mom. Approaching Ethan, I didn't want his heart, just his money. Those fleeting feelings? A passing bug. Stepping out of my car, ready to head inside, Sarah appeared. "How much did you get from Ethan?" she asked coldly. I smirked. "More than you can dream of. I gave top-notch service. My client was very happy." She sneered. "All that effort, for what? You're just a beggar, crying in a corner while Ethan loves me." I laughed. "Sarah, you think I'm hung up on Ethan like you?" I stepped closer, voice low. "I never loved him, just his money. You got his heart, I got his cash. We both won. Happy?" I was lying, but I'd never show weakness to her. Sarah froze, staring past me. A chill hit. Something was wrong. I turned. Ethan stood behind me, face unreadable. How could I forget? Sarah's taunts were for him. One loss wasn't enough. She had to twist the knife. She ran to him, steps delicate, looking fragile. "Ethan, why'd you follow?" "I just wanted to clear the air with Claire. No need to worry." He held her gently, eyes locked on me. "Claire, you're something." I bit my lip, forcing a smile. "Thanks, Mr. Caldwell. Tea inside?" He snorted. "No, you're repulsive." He walked off with Sarah, not looking back. I watched, stood for a moment, then went inside. That night, I moved Mom from her rundown apartment to the villa. Settling her in, half my goal was done. I returned to my room, relieved. The bed was huge, the space beside me empty, no warm arms. I've always hated the cold. Many nights, only Ethan's embrace let me sleep. Now, I was freezing. I wasn't over him like I thought. Next morning, I woke late. In the study, my hand grazed the desk, and I sat, lost in thought. Nights before, Ethan worked here while I brought tea, keeping him company. I was the perfect partner, matching Sarah's every move, surpassing her in others. Like asking about his business with real interest, memorizing his investments, knowing his startup interests, even in my dreams. I'd absorbed his business savvy. I was his best student. My hand touched his old teacup. I brewed one, sitting like him. Ethan's payout was enough to invest. His events gave me connections. I sipped, stood, washed up, put on a dress and heels, made calls, and met people. I'd played Sarah for a year, all for this, the day I'd climb. When Mom and I were kicked out of the Harper family, I learned being a trophy wife was nothing compared to being the boss. Wives get replaced, bosses don't. I didn't just want to be Ethan's lover. I wanted to be the next Ethan Caldwell. Days blurred. Meetings, networking, late-night events. With Ethan, I avoided alcohol, but now I wore bold dresses, drank strong liquor, and charmed moguls. When they heard Ethan dumped me, they paused, then patted my hand or thigh, offering pity. I didn't care. Getting into their circle was worth any price. Dignity? That's for the powerful. Most kept it tame. Flirty hints, phone numbers, nothing too bold. Except once. A creepy old man forced me to drink, pulled me to a room, and groped me. I felt weak, suspecting a spiked drink. Biting my lip, bloody to stay awake, I called for help. Security and the bar owner got me out. Half an hour later, Ethan appeared, his gaze icy, fixed on my exposed skin. In my panic, his number was all I could recall. Seeing him, I exhaled, gave a weak smile, and blacked out. I woke in a hotel bed. Ethan's voice came from the bathroom. "Sarah, sleep first. I'll be back after I handle this." His voice, so familiar, was tender like never before. Bitterness stung. Early on, I dreamed his eyes were only for me. I'd playfully asked for a promise, but when he frowned, I hugged him and dropped it. I sighed. He finished his call, approached, and tossed me a long white dress, tags on, covering head to toe. "Claire, look at yourself. What are you now?" He eyed my short red dress. "Lowering yourself like this. My half-smile froze. He tilted his chin. You love money that much? My payout wasn't enough? You're out drinking for cash? I stepped out of bed, slipped on shoes, and faced him with a forced smile. You're right, Mr. Caldwell. I'm low class. How else could I be someone's stand-in? What? His eyes flashed coldly. I looked up. No smile. No matter how low, you slept with me for a year? No matter how low, I didn't cheat with an ex. No matter how low, I'm the legitimate daughter, not the one stealing someone's dad. His face hardened. I smirked. You've never been dirt poor, so you don't get it. Poor people fear running out. You're too rich to understand. If you care, ask your girlfriend why she exists, why she turned an heiress like me into nothing, why she stole my man and called me the other woman. His expression wavered. My tears shocked him. I wiped them, surprised myself. I thought hardship had numbed me, that emotions like sadness or love were gone. But I carried so much resentment, so much unfairness. I pushed past, stumbling out, taking a cab home, crying all the way. I was once a spoiled princess, now a substitute for an illegitimate kid, a toy for others. Why? I didn't get it. I didn't accept it. Ethan stopped contacting me. But my investments soared, and top firms reached out. At events, people were polite. No one touched me. Probably Ethan's influence. I took every advantage. Poverty scared me too much to reject resources, even from an ex. Things eased up. I enrolled in an MBA, studying and networking. I started my own company, hiring staff. Begging for flowers? Better to buy your own. I worked hard, stayed sharp, networked, and earned my place. That got me invites to elite events, like a tycoon's birthday bash, where I was invited as his son's MBA classmate. There, I saw Dad on the guest list. No shock, he was a big-shot businessman, a city name. Everyone saw his wealth, not how he built it on my grandfather's money, or how he swindled Mom's inheritance, brought his mistress and Sarah home, and threw us out. He disowned me for taking Mom's last name, calling it betrayal. Mom and I endured every hardship after that. Sometimes we paid the electric bill $1 at a time. Sometimes I walked home from rough suburbs at night, stick in hand, to save cab fare. Now, seeing him and Ethan fawn over Sarah, I laughed. Life's unfair. Eternal love, it's about power, not loyalty. Not worth it. I turned to mingle. Sarah spotted me. Claire, she called brightly, grabbing my arm. You see Dad and don't say hi? No family grudges overnight. Still mad? She dragged me to Dad before I could object. He snorted, glaring. Dressed like that to seduce Ethan again? I smiled sweetly, glancing at Ethan. You think so, Dad? Ethan eyed my fitted gown, silent, his gaze deep. Dad snapped. Where'd you learn those vixen moves? Your mom? I smirked. From your wife. She used them to kick us out. I had to learn. Sarah flushed. Claire, how dare you insult Mom? She and Dad are in love, I laughed. Love? Try affair. Claire, Dad roared. Slap. His hand struck my face, ringing my ear. Everyone stared, shocked. One tall man with a drink watched, amused. His gaze sparked anger in me. I hated being humiliated. All my work was to rise above Dad's rejection, to reclaim my dignity. Yet here I was, slapped, a joke. David Harper, who are you to hit me? I rubbed my ear, shoving him. I'm your father, he yelled, raising his hand again. Ethan grabbed his wrist, face blank. Dad lowered his hand. Sarah tugged Ethan's sleeve. Ethan, let Dad go. He's older. He can't handle it. I held my ringing ear, laughing bitterly. Ethan grabbed my arm, pulling me to the bathroom. Confused, I stumbled along. Passing the amused man, I heard, Hey there! I couldn't reply. Ethan was dragging me. At the bathroom door, he let go, touching my cheek. Hurt? Grievance surged. I closed my eyes, fighting tears. He studied my smudged eyeliner, voice soft. You insulted Sarah's mom. You were wrong. Apologize later, and I'll drive you home. I stared, stunned. Was he serious? Ethan, are you insane? I snapped. I yanked free. Who are you to demand apologies? You're my ex. You think you're that big a deal? He squinted. What? You're just an ex. Deal's done. What gives you the right to play peacemaker? I was furious. Ethan wanting me to apologize to Sarah? Absurd. I dreamed he cared. Now I saw my folly. Clinging to hope, ignoring my worth, brought shame. He grabbed my wrist hard. His eyes were dangerous. He was angry. His face stayed calm. Claire, only a lover makes you listen. I stayed silent. He leaned close, noses nearly touching. Name your price. What? I blinked, stunned. What'd you say? I asked. Name your price. I'll take you back. I laughed, the absurdity hitting. You want to cheat? Betray Sarah? Part of me wanted a yes, part a no. He stared at my collarbone, throat bobbing, eyes burning with something new. Claire, I don't like your clothes or attitude. His voice was hoarse. I won't betray Sarah. But I want you in my orbit, behaving safe. Tears fell, but I laughed. A platonic mistress, Mr. Caldwell? I don't do talk, I deliver. His eyes darkened. He gripped my shoulders, about to speak, when a mocking voice cut in. Ethan, your fiancé's looking. We turned. The amused man smirking winked at me. He looked like Ethan, sharp, handsome. He extended a hand. Hi, I'm Ryan Caldwell. I knew Ryan, Ethan's uncle, the youngest Caldwell, a genius. Rumors said Ethan's parents feared him, and the inheritance fight would be fierce. Ethan was often compared to him, despite their 5-year gap, both exceptional. Ethan eyed Ryan warily, shielding me. Ryan grinned. Want her dad to slap her again? Ethan paused, whispering, Go home. Wait for my call. He hesitated. Stay away from strangers. He rushed to the hall. I saw Sarah, teary, throwing herself into his arms. My heart sank like lead. Ryan leaned against the wall, half smiling. I swallowed my anger. What are you staring at? When you'll cry, he said, checking his watch. How long can you hold it? I forced back tears. Got time to waste? Get your head checked. He chuckled, offering a hand. Friends? Ryan was worth knowing, but I wasn't in the mood. I shook my head, walking off. At the corner, I glanced back. Ryan stood there, eyes sharp, intrigued. After the party, things tanked. Our deals fell apart. My company hit roadblocks. I found out Dad was behind it. People siding with Ethan chose Dad, his future father-in-law, over me. I scrambled for fixes, but my network wasn't Dad's. I had no leverage. I worked myself to death, becoming a joke. Some suggested I find a new sponsor. With my looks and charm, they said I'd score one fast. I refused, fighting on. Then someone invited me to a party, saying a big shot wanted to meet. Desperate, I went. In the room, a man sat sharp, handsome like Ethan, but with a playful smile, eyes twinkling. He nodded. We meet again. I bit my lip, forcing a smile, and sat. Hello, Mr. Caldwell. Call me Ryan, he said, raising his glass. Friends? I nodded. All right, Ryan. After, Ryan was drunk. He asked me to help him walk. Behind us, I heard, Claire's got a new backer. She's back. Another voice. She snagged Ethan's uncle. Caldwell drama incoming. Isn't that what they say? Femme fatale. I ignored them. Whispers would stop when I hit the top. Ryan chuckled. How long can you hold it? I inhaled. As long as you want. He checked his watch. 30 minutes. He opened the car door. I got in. I was giving up on myself. My fate wasn't Sarah's, but I wanted to outdo her. Greed like that gets punished. Ryan sat beside me, cheek propped, smiling faintly. I didn't look, letting him take me anywhere. 10 minutes later, he said, 20 more. I glanced. He stared out the window. Another 10. 10 more. It was dark, streetlights dim, trees thick. We were on a highway, suburban bound. Fear hit, horror movie scenes flashing. Ryan, silent and smirking, scared me. Where are we going? I edged back. He checked his watch. Few more minutes. Goosebumps rose. I grabbed my phone for the cops. He laughed, taking it. Wait a bit. False calls get you in trouble. My face froze. I didn't want to die. I hadn't faced those awful people yet, hadn't gotten revenge. Time dragged, each second torture. I begged. I'll do anything. Don't hurt me. I have unfinished business. Ryan laughed, stopping the car. He got out, waving me over. I hesitated, but the driver said, Mr. Caldwell won't hurt you. Risk his fortune? No way. With no choice, I stepped out. Ryan pointed at a dark lake. Let it out. I realized we were near the Caldwell's old estate, a ritzy suburban enclave with 24/7 security. I exhaled, but fear and grievance crashed over. I collapsed, sobbing, tears and snot everywhere. Tears are weird. You stop them early, or they flood, multiplying every buried pain. I sat, crying pathetically, cursing. It wasn't fair. Why? What did I do? Why did Dad ditch me? Why did Ethan leave? Why couldn't I keep anything? I cried until I was empty. Ryan waited quietly, then helped me up, handing me tissues. I hiccuped, but the weight was gone. I felt light, first time ever. Suspicious, I asked. Why? He smirked. Wanted to see how tough you are. I thought he was crazy, but didn't say it. This place is quiet. He looked at the lake. Perfect for crying. And so, oddly, I started hanging with Ryan. Odder still, rumors spread he was my sponsor, vivid and wild. The upside? My business thrived. I seized the chance to grow, determined to rise until no one could choke me out. One day, I'd stand tall without a man's name. But rumors have downsides. Ethan believed them. He showed up at midnight, drunk, demanding, "You with Ryan?" I let him in, made sobering tea, tucked him in. I used to care for him like that. Now it felt like another life. He stared, motioning me closer. I brought the tea, leaned in. He whispered, "What spell did you cast? I can't forget you." My heart ached, but I said, "You have Sarah." He flinched, pulling back, silent until morning. At 7, he got up. Washing up, he asked, "You and Ryan real?" I leaned against the bathroom door, smirking, eyes roaming, silent. Why did he get to pamper Sarah while I, the nobody, had to report my life? No answer. He left, face cold. "Ryan's a fox. You can't win." He hesitated. "My offer? Still open." I smiled. "Take care, Mr. Caldwell." The door slammed. I stood behind it, then stepped out to fight. Ryan was around a lot, even at work or events, wanting me close. Rumors called me his favorite, maybe future Mrs. Caldwell if he won the family fortune. Even Dad called. I ignored him, but he called Mom's phone. He hadn't contacted us in over a decade. I blocked him, feeling great. I didn't buy the rumors. Ryan hadn't touched me. Maybe he was unhinged. Sometimes, I thought he was training me as a successor. At his office, I worked beside him like a student. He quizzed me. At events, he called me his protege. Ethan said Ryan was a fox, true. But what was his game? I didn't know. I just grew fast, surpassing what I learned from Ethan. With Ryan's help, I climbed quickly. Our relationship shook old Mr. Caldwell, who demanded to meet the vixen who'd charmed his grandson and son. He hadn't met Sarah. Things were that loud. Maybe Ryan really liked me? His words crushed that. Reviewing papers, he said, "No need to meet." I sat, embarrassed, forcing a smile. His assistant's scornful glance stung. I ignored it. When she left, Ryan kept working. But I was burning inside, not sure why. Even Ethan and Sarah's reunion didn't hit this hard. I knew I was irrational, but Ryan was the first to respect me, not judge. He'd boosted my confidence, and I couldn't hide my frustration. He sipped coffee, saw my face, and smirked. "Mad?" I faked a smile. "Nope." "Lips itching?" He looked amused. I relaxed my jaw, silent. He walked over, ruffling my hair, a voice cool but playful. "I meant you don't need to meet him, not that he doesn't need you." He meant his dad. I looked up, surprised. His eyes were deep, unreadable. Mrs. Caldwell sent for me next, demanding a meeting. Ryan scoffed. "No need." I found it odd but didn't ask. Ethan explained later. He cornered me at my door, face cold. "Why Ryan?" I shrugged. "Why Sarah?" He grabbed my arm. "You mock Sarah for being illegitimate, but you pick another." He added, "Because of you, Ryan pissed off my parents. Dad says no inheritance for bastards." I froze. He gripped my shoulders. "Claire, he's got nothing to give." I was furious, struggling. "What can you give? A mistress title? Another bastard kid? Caldwell family tradition?" He looked shaken. "You think I wanted this? You hid the real you for a year. Why show me now after we're done?" I laughed. The sweet girl in the red lipstick. Men can't let go. I pushed him off. I needed Ryan. Ethan stared. "I regret it." "Enough?" I dialed Ryan, ignoring him. "Come back. I'll change my choice." I waved him off. "Go run your empire, Mr. Caldwell." His voice trembled. "Claire, last chance. I can let Sarah go." "Ethan," I cut him off. Post-breakup, I dreamed of this. Why now, after Ryan? I thought I'd never forget Ethan, but Ryan showed me respect was intoxicating. Strength, not looks, brought security. I wanted to tell Ryan I'd stay, rich or poor, because good deeds pay off. I looked at Ethan, eyes stinging. "I'm going to Ryan." "Go." Pain flashed in his eyes. "I'm getting engaged. Come back. I'll switch." I dodged his reach. "Your dad won't like a woman flipping between nephew and son. Risk your inheritance?" His hand froze. I smiled. "Let it go. That fortune's too big. You and Sarah are perfect." Ethan, usually decisive, hesitated. He asked me to wait until he was secure. I smiled bitterly, watching him leave. You reap what you sow. Ethan drove off, dust trailing, gone. My heart felt empty, but only briefly. I called Ryan. The phone rang, my nerves frayed. He picked up, silent. "Where are you?" "I'm coming," I said, frantic. Silence then. "Look west." I did, surprised. A tall figure leaned against an elm, smiling. I ran over. "When'd you get here?" "Why so quiet?" Had he seen my fight with Ethan? I worried. Ryan's smile deepened. "Just got here. Wanted a drink? Came for you." I exhaled, but worry lingered. "You okay? I heard." "I'm a bastard?" He draped an arm over me, casual. I fidgeted, unsure what to say. He drove to the suburbs toward the Caldwell estate. Nervous, I asked, "Taking me to face them?" He laughed, pulling over, kissing my forehead. "You crazy?" I let his kiss and insult slide, sensing his stress. He waved me out. It was the same lake where I'd cried. Flustered, I said, "No tears today." He stared at the lake. As a kid, when I couldn't take it, I'd cry here. No one judges, no one snitches. His eyes held no smile, just sadness beyond his years. He continued, "My mom fought Mrs. Caldwell for years but never got wife. She went mad, sent to an asylum. I was 8, surviving the Caldwells alone." My heart ached. I took his cold hand, sharing warmth. He gripped mine. Every Caldwell has lovers, bastard kids. Ethan's got 2 half-sisters. I hadn't known. Feeling his pain, I leaned closer. "That's unfair." He held me. "As a kid, I thought Mrs. Caldwell ruined my mom. I hated her. Growing up, I saw the real enemy." He looked at the Caldwell estate. "Someone else." I nodded, never targeted Sarah. I knew my real grudge. Ryan sat us on the grass. "I dream of stopping the Caldwells from breaking more women, creating more cruelty." His cold smile worried me. "What's the plan?" I half joked about a law book. He looked at me. "It's lonely. I walked alone until I saw you at that party." Your strength, holding back tears, reminded me of my childhood. I found my partner. His eyes, usually playful, were fragile, captivating. Ethan said I cast spells, but Ryan was the enchanter. His words felt true. He kissed me, gentle but firm, stealing my breath. He sighed, "Claire, I've been alone too long." Ryan and I went official. People said I was nuts for choosing a disowned Caldwell, but I was happy. A true partner heals. Embraces soothe. Months later, Ethan got engaged, becoming the Caldwell heir. We attended. Mr. and Mrs. Caldwell ignored me. Dad, sensing the vibe, acted like we were strangers. Ryan and I were outcasts in a corner. People hurried past, avoiding us. I worried for Ryan, tugging him to leave. He smiled, patting my hand. "I need you to let go completely." I laughed, annoyed. My heart was his. How could I cling to old dreams? Ethan stood on stage, toasting confidently. Sarah, sweet and petite, glowed beside him. They saw us mid-toast. I waved, mouthing, "Congrats." Ethan's glass shattered. He started toward me, but Sarah pulled him back. I smiled, like watching an old friend slip. A friend with no grudges left, no love, no hate. A friend whose eyes reddened. I nudged Ryan. "Can we go?" He kissed me deeply, possessive, then waved at Ethan, leading me out. I laughed, exasperated. Ryan, usually calculated, was acting childish. But he said seriously, "Before a fight, secure the heart. I want no one else in yours." I rolled my eyes, heart warm. Being valued felt amazing. Ethan took the Caldwell empire. Ryan lost the inheritance fight. People said I'd bewitched him, that he could have won. I smiled, too busy for rumors. Ryan was busier, even without the family fortune. One night by the lake, he revealed a secret company, low-key, powerful, built with Caldwell resources. It could crush the family. He knew their weaknesses. His company was their downfall. My company, with his help, grew fast. He couldn't give me the Caldwell title or public love, but he gave me power to earn my own wealth, applause. For a wolf, teaching it to hunt beats feeding it meat. I agreed. Earning your own means no fear of loss. I'd never mimic another woman again. I'd never fear abandonment. Not from Dad, not from love. Ryan gave me the best promise. 2 years passed. We avoided the Caldwells until Mrs. Caldwell's funeral. Her resentment and illness took her. We paid respects. Ethan was there, worn, staring deeply. He was drained. A new illegitimate Caldwell son, raised abroad, returned, favored by Mr. Caldwell. Mr. Caldwell gave him a chunk of the fortune. Mrs. Caldwell, who'd blocked Ryan, didn't see this 4th child coming. Her anger killed her. Ethan's half-sister went to the press, demanding her share. Ethan was under fire. It hit Sarah too. She looked worn, not bubbly. She approached, staring. "What did you do to Ethan?" I blinked. "You okay?" She gritted her teeth. 2 years, Ethan makes me copy you. Red dresses, heels, curls. At night, he calls your name. I saw her, my makeup, hair, clothes, like a clone. It was absurd, but I couldn't laugh. Sarah was my substitute. I should have felt smug, but I was just tired. I looked at Ryan. "Let's go." He glanced at Mrs. Caldwell's portrait, took my hand. "Let's roll," we left. Sarah cursed behind, voice shrill. I paused, but didn't look back. The Caldwell chaos continued, but soon stopped. Their businesses tanked, market share gone. Mr. Caldwell and his son were exposed for illegal deals, tax evasion, unfair competition. Investigations followed. Ethan escaped. Stocks crashed, shareholders sold, banks called loans. The Caldwell cash flow snapped. Overnight, the family fell. No more mistresses or bastards. The dynasty was gone. Ethan, once adored, was shunned. I returned his breakup money. He wasn't the same, nor was I. I didn't need it. He sent it back with thanks. He'd recover, he had the skills. I took the card, moved on. Sarah, who swore loyalty, divorced him post-collapse. Her move didn't save the Harpers. Dad's company, tied to the Caldwells, was exposed and bankrupted in weeks. The night it fell, the sky was stunning. Ryan and I stood by the window, moon-gazing, clinking glasses. He waved dramatically. "Moon's bright." His ring gleamed under the light. I laughed, mimicking him, flashing my ring. "Sure is, makes mine shine." He grabbed my hand, our fingers locked, wedding bands side by side. We were quiet. He smiled softly. "Thanks, Mrs. Caldwell, for ending my loneliness." I nestled into him, whispering, "Thank you for giving me strength so I'll never fear being left, not even by you." The moonlight was perfect, his embrace warm, my heart calm. "That's enough."